come home from school and we'd watch American Bandstand at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with my mom. And my mom used to like to get up and jitterbug dance. After American Bandstand left Philadelphia and went on to California, a dear friend of mine from Philadelphia, his name is Jerry Blavitt, the Geeter with the Heater. Jerry and I are good friends. So I was a dancer on Jerry's show called the Discophonic Scene, but I never danced on American Bandstand. But the dancers on American Bandstand couldn't dance for shit compared to the dancers on the Discophonic Scene. We could dance. Now we could dance.
The hits come faster on the Sonny Hopkins Show.
In those days, the popular radio station was WIBG. They called it Wibbage. I never listened to Wibbage. I didn't know anybody on Wibbage. High Lit, High Schema, Rudy, whatever his name was. I listened to WHAT and WDAS. HAT was Georgie Woods, the man with the goods. WDAS was JB the DJ, Jimmy Bishop. WHAT was Sonny Hopson. You listen to Sonny Hopson. So I used to listen to black music, black radio. I knew nothing about WIBG. This is the truth. If you asked me to name you 5 Beatles songs, I couldn't do it. If you asked me to sing the lyrics to 20 Temptation songs, I know every one. JB and Jim and Georgie Woods used to be the MCs of the Uptown. They were basically the promoters of the Uptown show. Now, Georgie Woods was a great guy. He had a television show called 17 Canteen. I was a teen on 17 Canteen, which was a dance show on Channel 17. Back in the day, talked about American Bandstand. This is a little known fact. On Channel 12 in Philadelphia, they had a show called Colored Bandstand. Yep, Colored Bandstand. A lot of people don't know that. It was on Channel 12. Colored Bandstand, which was American Bandstand, which was all black. I don't know who the MC was. What certainly wasn't Don Cornelius, as he went on the Soul Train. But I don't know who it was, but it was literally called Colored Bandstand. Georgie Woods had 17 Canteen, and people used to dance on that, which was also biracial. There was a lot of white folks on 17 Canteen. Georgie Woods was a great guy. Here's the funny thing about Georgie Woods. Georgie Woods was the only black guy that I know that could not dance. Georgie Woods could not dance a step. He was the worst dancer. He used to good dance. Like I say, Georgie, I never seen a black guy that could not dance, but you are it. Georgie was a horrible dancer, but a really genuine guy. Really genuine guy. He kind of fell through the cracks when WDAS became a monolithic station in Philadelphia under Cody Anderson. But yeah, Georgie was a great guy. I don't think he ever got the due that he should have, because the Uptown Theater didn't get to the level of the Apollo because they didn't have the audience that the Apollo. No, the Apollo still does very, very well. Because the Apollo did something very clever. First of all, the Apollo had more audience because New York is a bigger base, obviously. Broad Street at that time was going downhill but fast. People, white folks, wouldn't even go on Broad Street. Now, white folks go to the Apollo. But what the Apollo did was, they brought in a lot of young talent, kind of like an amateur type thing, and they brought in a lot of young talent who went on to become very, very famous. And they didn't always have a music venue. They had a comedic venue and this venue. And they just, I think, were better marketers. Here's what was happening. Berry Gordy had this thing that he wanted to what they call crossover. He wanted to cross over from Motown, from an African-American black sound to an international, everybody likes the sound. So when Motown crossed over, more people started coming to the Uptown. Now, were they there to see Bobby Womack? No. Were they there to see Billy Stewart? No. Were they there to see the Mad Lads? No. Were they there to see the Intruders? Maybe. Were they there to see the Volcanoes? No. But they were there to see the Motown people. So it became, they started crossing over, and then consequently, their music was being played on WIBG and some of the white stations, and more white people would come. I think at that point in time, Temple was kind of a non-entity. I don't think Temple did a lot at that time to improve the community. I don't think they did a lot to enhance the community. I think they were there. White kids came and white kids went home. The neighborhood was tough. It was run down. This is 60 in my time, 64, 65, 66. When I was there, Temple was a commuter school. You know what I mean? Villanova and St. Joe, people were staying there. Temple was kind of an also-ran. It was real simple. Young people changed. The acts became mega acts. Okay, you could can you imagine now, just think about this right now, I'm going to get Diana Ross, Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, God bless him if he was still alive, Marvin Gaye, The Temptations on the same stage for $5, and maybe have 2,000 people there, maybe. I mean, here's a perfect example. My friend just booked a concert. The Stylistics, the OJs, the Intruders, Barbara Mason, Jerry Butler, $75 a ticket. I saw those same people, $5. And I sold them 4 times in one day. So the demise was the fact that the music industry became Berry Gordy created the crossover, but when it crossed over, it was basically the demise of the Uptowns and the Howards, because you could no longer, no one's going to go to the Uptown for $75 a ticket. Just not going to happen. Not going to happen. So he created a great musical enterprise, but also created the demise of the Uptown Theater. It was a cultural phenomenon because the Beatles and Elvis didn't exist in that community. Didn't exist. I have never, ever had more fun and better memories than the Uptown Theater, ever. I mean, they are memories of my life that I'll never forget. The Uptown Theater to me is like the closest thing to heaven. I mean, when I needed somewhere to go and I wanted to hear my music, and I didn't want to hear this cockamamie Beatles and the McCoys and the frozen fish sticks and the butterflies or whoever they were, I went to the Uptown and I heard my music.